Okay, good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, this is one of the major component of epidemiology part. Okay, so you all know what is epidemiology, what are the aims and objectives of the epidemiology. So, for measurement, okay, of epidemiology, we have some basic tools. It's also called tools of measurement. Okay, tools of measurement is called basic measures of epidemiology or tools of measurement. Okay, we need to measure. And you can see before that, okay, in each class or lecture or anywhere we must have some objective or objectives. So in this interactive session, you should understand the meaning of basic measures of epidemiology and apply its concept in your day-to-day life or clinical setting or community setting. So within 1 hour, we have 40-minute class, 15-minute evaluation, and 5-minute feedback, and you have to respond through reflection writing, MCQ test, and other assigned work, which is for your portfolio assessment or evaluation. So let me recap. Okay. Before starting measurement or tools of epidemiology, okay, basic measures of epidemiology, you also know what is epidemiology. So I found many students here. Okay, Dosim, are there? Could you please unmute yourself, Dosim? Hope you are listening me properly. I'm audible to you all. Dosim, are you here? Please unmute yourself and tell me, what is epidemiology? Definition given by John M. Last, 1988. Just give me definition, then we'll interact its inherent components of epidemiology. So tell us, what is epidemiology? Dosim, please unmute yourself. We are not listening to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us.
So, epidemiology, it is the branch of medicine which deals with the incidence and distributions, possible control of diseases and other factors.
No. I'm asking you definition given by John M. Last. Exact definition given by John M. Last. You're just talking about the concept of epidemiology. Okay, these are just ancillary things, but you need to give exact definition of epidemiology given by John M. Last, 1988. Anyone who is roll number 10? Actually, this is assignment for roll number 10. I don't know who is roll number 10. Roll number 10? Who is roll number 10? Could you please unmute yourself and answer, or I need to find you who is roll number 10? Who is roll number 10?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are roll number 10. What's your name?
Sir, Didi Bhattacharya.
Okay, then tell us definition of epidemiology according to John M. Last. Because before proceeding to measures of epidemiology, you should know what is epidemiology. It's already discussed.
So it is a scientific study of the spread and control of a disease.
No. Anyone, any volunteer? Jitesh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us epidemiology definition. Given by John M. Last, 1988.
The study of distribution and determinant of health-related status or event in a specific population and application of this study to the control of health population is known as epidemiology.
So what's the inherent meaning of this definition of epidemiology?
It's basically after how disease is distributed in a specific population, community. According to the study of this application, we have to you can easily control the population disease like that.
Okay, let me clear. Please mute yourself now. Let me try my best to clear you. Okay,
Okay.
dear student, please you need to read. Okay, though it's very difficult to you understand. Okay, because just within a few months of your MBBS study, you have to face this problem, and you are not used to it, the real medical science. Because without having basic knowledge, basic understanding, basic concept of terms and terminology, you cannot proceed further. Okay, so this is how medical sciences differs than other science. Okay, so before knowing all the details, all the components or advanced knowledge of epidemiology, you should know what is epidemiology. Okay, you all forgot epidemiology definition. Okay, this is very important, given by John Blast, who is the pioneer, okay, of our epidemiology studies. So there are two parts in his definition. One is to study various things. Okay, so based on frequency, actually it is not written in his definition, but it's frequency, means prevalence or incidence. Then distribution according to TPP, time, place, and person. Distribution means incidence and prevalence. Sorry, frequency means incidence and prevalence. Incidence for acute disease, prevalence for chronic disease, ideally, but there are many variations. Another one is distribution according to time, place, and person. And third one is determinants or the factors responsible for particular disease like COVID-19. So in terms of COVID-19, what is the frequency? It's prevalence of COVID-19 in Nepal and India in terms of number or in terms of prevalence. Distribution in terms of time, place, and person. Which month, which time, which place, which province. And person means in which sex, male or female, or in which ethnic group. So this is distribution. And determinants, what are the determinants of COVID-19 spread? It may be in our country, Nepal, the people returned from abroad or foreign returnees. This may be one of the determinants. Another, there are many social determinants, those who are not using, okay, adequate proper masks, those who are not, having habit of social distancing or hand washing or sanitation measures. So you can easily identify, based on epidemiology, what are the factors responsible for transmission of COVID-19 in Nepal and Japan or South Korea or US. Just by the knowledge of epidemiology, we can predict the further spread of disease. If you find the determinants, different determinants or factors responsible for transmission of disease COVID-19, okay, then we can predict for future outbreak. We can predict for future, continuation of disease or endemicity. We can predict for possible prevention and control measures just by applying the concept of epidemiology. So in epidemiology, first you need to read frequency, distribution, and determinants, 3 parts. Then application of that particular knowledge, okay, based on your frequency, distribution, and determinants to control that particular health problem or condition. So we have 2 components. One is to study and its implication. You must know what are the determinants. Okay, in our condition, in our Nepal, okay, in our Nepalese context, the foreign returnees are one of the determinants of COVID-19 in context of Nepal. So what is our application? We need to be very cautious about foreign employees or foreign returnees, especially foreign returnees. We need to be more vigilant. We need to observe them. Okay, we need to put them in self-isolation or especially quarantine, a dedicated quarantine. We need to trace or interact them. Okay, so based on scientific evidence, we need to apply the concept. Why we are tracing foreign returnees? Because of there are high possibilities of COVID-19 positive and their possible transmission capacity. So for that, we need to stop their travel within the community, within the context of district, or within into Nepal border, or on any geographical area. Okay, so based on the knowledge of epidemiology, we can control COVID-19 or any outbreak or any disease. Now, there are so many mathematical terms: frequency, prevalence in incidence, distribution, time, place, and person, and determinants. Okay, so for that, we need to use some statistical tool or mathematical tool. So on your screen, you can see measurements used in epidemiology. We have different measurements of morbidity. Morbidity means illness or disease. Mortality means death. So measurement of mortality, measurement of morbidity, measurement of disability nowadays, measurement of natality, birth, measurement of disease attributes, measurement of healthcare services, measurement of risk factor, and measurement of demographic variables. These all are important. Okay? Why one student raises and I don't know. Okay. Measurement of demographic variables. Okay. Please go to your chapter 2 of our book and try to read health indicators thoroughly, because this is very, very, very important. You should know all the indicators. Okay. Now, what are the tools of measurement? So before starting, okay, to discuss about tools of measurement, you should know what is indicator. Indicator and index. So if you have more than 2 indicator, okay, to identify or to track any health condition, then it is called index. Index means more than 2 indicators, okay, representing certain pattern of disease or frequency. Okay, then this is called index, like Sullivan index, okay, Glasgow Coma index. Okay, we can use the different types of indexing system, like especially in cancer disease, we have cancer screening staging index. Okay, we have many index. Okay, and indicator means one variables. If more than one variables, if more than one indicator, then it is called index. If it is single variable, then it is called indicators. Indicator means it indicates certain things. Okay, indicator, certain pattern or certain progress indicators. Okay, for that we must have concept of tools of measurement. So we have only 3 actually. They are already used, okay, in your day-to-day practice, but you need to now assemble, you need to now integrate your basic concept of tools of measurement in the epidemiology and health. So one is proportion, another term is percentage. So proportion and percentage, which are somehow similar. Another one is a rate, another one is ratio. So if someone asks you what are the tools of measurement, then you should say proportion, rate, and ratio. If proportion expressed in 100, then it's called percentage. So what is proportion? It's like a basic mathematics class. Okay, it's usually expressed as percentage. Okay, I hope you all know the concept numerator, denominator, multiplier, and time factors. So usually expressed as percentage. Numerator, which is part of denominator. So this is numerator, this is denominator. In the health science, this numerator means diseased. This is population, diseased person or population. This numerator is more, applicable in the context of clinical science or for clinicians. Okay, denominator for public health or population science, population medicine. Okay, it's population, it's individual case. So you can see numerator, which is part of denominator. So in case of proportion, which is one tool of measurement, there are numerator, denominator, multiplier, and no time factor. It means numerator, this is numerator, this is denominator, and numerator is always part of, which is part of denominator, so that we can calculate proportion. So multiplier may or may not be, okay, like you can see we can multiply, okay, 1 by 3 to 2 by 6, okay, we can multiply with certain number, especially in some epidemiological studies, okay. But you can see the most important part is we have denominator, we have numerator, and numerator must be a part of denominator with or without multiplier, but there is no any time factor or no time boundary, okay, or no time duration. This is called proportion. It's easy, okay. Now, so this is example. What proportion of this class are Sonam's fans? Sonam is your senior student, okay, senior brother in among your batch, okay, how many students are a fan of Sonam? So out of 75, maybe 50. So proportion is 50 divided by 75. Total is 75. And among 75, 50 are the numerators. Means numerator is part of denominator. Okay. So 50 divided by 75. That means 2:3. 50 divided by 75. So what proportion of classes are Sonam's fan? So we can calculate proportion. Another example. What proportion of this class are Mandal's uncle fan? This is in our community setting. What proportion of this class are Mandal's uncle fan? Okay, you can easily identify. And this is our real context. For the future doctors, it's a real example, diabetes. What proportion of the population is suffering from diabetes? Now, what proportion of parents of 6th batch of MBBS have raised blood sugar level? Okay, we can identify. So raised blood sugar of fathers of 6th batch of medical college, mothers of 6th batch of medical college. What proportion we can easily identify? So among the state, among the population portions of the patient tested for blood sugar, so how many have raised level of blood sugar? So we can identify the proportion. This is a real example in our clinical setting or health setting. Now the rate. Okay, you can see there is clock. Okay, so always be careful. Okay, if someone asks you about rate, there is always time period. So you should know this watch. Okay, you can see there is certain time period. Rate. So rate contains numerator and denominator both, same as previous tool, that is proportion. Numerator is a part of denominator and it has multiply and time period. Proportion no time period, rate time period, and it is usually expressed as 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh or 1 million. That means 10 lakh. It has a time dimension, whereas proportion does not have time dimension. So this is basic difference between rate and proportion. And this is one of the common questions asked in your Bible or sporters or in MCQ. Okay, rate. So how to calculate rate? Let us have one example. Death rate means number of deaths in 1 year. See, 1 year means time frame. By total population in that year, actually mid-year population, into 1000. So we can calculate death rate, okay, in a certain population. So we can express either 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh. So why 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh? If you get less value, okay, 0.000, then you need to multiply with 10,000, or if the incidence or prevalence is very less, then for generalization we need to multiply with more large multiplier. Means if you have less or very small or minimum incidence or prevalence or minimum number, then you need to increase the multiplier number. Okay, this is the process. Okay, so it is based on our context, it is based on our program. Okay, what is our need? Sometimes, you know, if you expressed in terms of 1,000, it may not be reflective for general population. So if death is only 2, then it's very difficult to generalize. If death is only 2, then sometimes we need to express in terms of 10,000. So out of 10,000, there are 20 deaths. So it has certain meaning for the population or policymakers. So this is how we need to present our findings to the respective organization as a doctor or epidemiologist. Now now you can see another terminology related to rate. Crude mortality rate means death by population. Cause specific mortality rate means death from certain cause by population. Case fatality rate means death from cause by number of persons with the disease or cause. And proportionate mortality rate means death from cause by all deaths. So if you calculate death from certain cause or COVID-19 out of all deaths, this is called proportionate mortality rate or PMR. So it's a proportion. Actually, it's a proportion. So you can see there are two tools used here: proportion as well as rate. So it's called proportionate mortality rate. So we can adjust proportional concept and rate concept within certain indicator. So this is one indicator, proportionate mortality rate. So death from certain cause or COVID-19 by all deaths within certain time frame within certain geographic area. Okay. Now, this is a real example. So currently we have COVID-19 pandemic. It's a case fatality rate. What is case fatality rate? Case fatality rate means it's a killing power of the disease. It's a killing power of the disease. It's also called virulence disease or fatality. Okay. So it increases with age according to China's data. So from January to February 2020, within certain time period, you can see there is certain time period, fixed time period, January to February 2020. So within this 2 months period, so you can see. So this is our neighboring country China's data. Okay, we can even discuss about our own country, Nepal, or your country, India. Okay, many students from India, and you can see 0 to 9 years, it's less than 0.01% case fatality rate, very less, 0 to 9 years. 10 to 19 years, 0.02, 20 to 29, 0.09. So you all belongs to, I think, this group. You all belongs to 20 to 29 or 10 to 19, few students. 0.18%, 30 to 39. And it's more in 80 plus, you can see. The geriatric age, after 60 means elderly, okay. 4.6, 9.8, 18%. So this is data from our neighboring country China. So in the month of January to February 2020. So in the current time, in Nepalese context, we have more cases, young cases, than old cases, but the case fatality rate is somehow similar to this. Out of I think 38 death in Nepal, majority belongs to senior citizens, this group 70 plus or 60 plus. Okay. Hope you understood the concept of case fatality rate. So you can see as age progresses, the case fatality rate of COVID-19 is increasing. As age progresses, the case fatality rate due to COVID-19 is increasing. So this is the beauty of knowing tools of measurement. Now you all know the concept of rate. Okay, so this is a case fatality rate. Don't go, there are two terminologies actually, case fatality rate and ratio. There is ongoing debate. Someone called ratio, someone called rate, but for label, I think rate is best for you. Okay? Ratio, there are some modifications. This the same phenomena occurs in maternal mortality rate, MMR, and MMR maternal mortality ratio, both rate and ratio. But what is the basic difference of rate and ratio? You are understood now. There is another term, case fatality rate versus IFR for hypothetical disease. This is for one hypothetical disease. So IFR means infection fatality rate. Actually, this is a new term. Okay, you can see 30 people infected. You can see this one. Okay, 30 people infected. 10 detected cases. These are the cases. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right. 10 cases. 30 people. and 1 fatal means died, this one. So case fatality rate means out of infected means 10, fatal 1 means death 1 by 10 is 10%. 1 by 10 means into 100, 10%. So this is case fatality rate. Among infected, how many died? If you calculate in terms of 100%, then it is called case fatality rate. So in the current situation of COVID-19, okay, WHO or Nepal government or other organization, advocating for case fatality rate. Okay, but another term, infection fatality rate, I have means 1 by 30 means out of infected, only 1 died, means only 3.3%. So if you calculate infection fatality rate of COVID-19, it is very, very, very less. Very, very less than suicide, snake bite, or landslides, or other common problems, general problems. So infection fatality rate. As a medical student, as an epidemiologist or community physician, or as a practitioner, you should know both concepts: case fatality rate and infection fatality rate. This is why this is important for you. When you practice, patient will ask you, what is the success rate of my patient of particular operation, or what is the success of this treatment, or what is fatality of this treatment? Then you need to be very wise. Which term, which indicator? Okay, you need to choose to deal your patient. So nowadays, people are more educated. They believe on indicators. They believe on scientific evidence, not like some judgmental things. So you should be very careful while dealing with your patients. Actually, it relates with your practice in your future, even today. Ratio. Now ratio means numerator, which is not a part of denominator. Could you give me one example? Who is there? Okay, Dheeraj Gupta. Look handsome here. Dheeraj, are you there or sleeping?
No,
okay,
sir, I'm here.
Okay, you are there. Okay, tell us one example of a ratio.
Yes, sir.
Ratio, example of ratio. One example of ratio.
Example of ratio.
Yeah, numerator is not the part of denominator, and there is no time frame.
Ratio of epidemiology. Ratio. I don't know actually, sir.
Teacher student ratio. One teacher 70. Now one teacher 53. We have 53 participants, and I have 2 login address, one from BMC and one from my mobile, one from my laptop. So I need to reduce to 30 or consider 3 as a 1, so 1:50. So teacher student ratio is 1:50 in the current ongoing class. This is called ratio. Male female ratio, it's easy. Within your batch, how many male, how many female student? Now let me give one example. Okay, you can you mute yourself. You can see doctor population ratio. Goa, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, UP and MP. You can see doctor population ratio 1:495, 1:811. So it's increasing.
Yes,
so as doctor population ratio increases, now it's more analytical. Okay, infant mortality rate is also increasing. Infant mortality means death of infants. Okay? It's a mortality rate of death. It's not NMR, it's infant within 1 year. Neonatal means within 1 month. So death of children, okay, per 1,000 live births. It's not population, so it's quite tricky. Okay, for NMR calculation, neonatal mortality rate or infant mortality rate, the denominator is live births, not total population. Okay. There is modifications. So how this happens, we need to study more. Okay, but if you are interested, you can contact me anytime. So you can see. So based on the knowledge of tools of measurement, now you can correlate. As the doctor population ratio increases in the different state of India, from Goa to MP, infant mortality rate also increases from 11 to 59, which is highest in MP, then UP, then Odisha, then Tamil Nadu, then Kerala and Goa. So we can compare this doctor population ratio and infant mortality in our context. Okay. I'll give individual tasks in your Google Classroom. Okay. There are some common assignment and individual assignment to particular student regarding tools and measurement or further understanding of tools and measurement.
Excuse me, sir.
Now summary.
Sir.
Please mute yourself. Let me mute all from here. Okay. Now summary tools of measurement. Hope I am audible to you all. Rate means simple formula A by A plus B. A means numerator, A plus B means denominator, and numerator is part of denominator. You can see A means numerator, A plus B means denominator. Numerator is a part of denominator, means A by A plus B. There is certain time specification and multiplier. Example is CDR, crude death rate, death per population into 1,000 population in a year. Ratio, male to female ratio, or within your batch student attending for ongoing class by total students into 100 means rate. So student attending online class and student not attending online class, this is ratio. Okay. And proportion, student attending online class out of total classes. Student attending online class out of total classes, but within certain time frame, within 1 week or within one class, then we can say rate. Okay. So proportion and rate seems similar, but only one difference is time specification. If there is no time specification, then it's called proportion. If there is a time specification, then it is called rate. And if proportion expressed is 100, then it's called percentage 2. And these are the references and acknowledgement to our textbook and the reports. And recently, Nepal government released NMIX 2019. Nepal multiple indicator cluster survey, NMIS. Before that we have mix 2014. Now after 5 years we have new report NMIX 2019. So I'll share in your Google Classroom or in your messenger group. Please go through this report too to know the latest data of our country. Now kindly go to your Google Classroom and write your class reflection or MCQs or SAQs. It's for assignment to particular student or class. Okay. I think this is all for today. Hope you understood. If you have any queries, any questions, you can ask within this class time or after this class time. You are free to ask anytime. Not only this topic or community medicine, anything if you want to ask related to COVID or medical sciences. Okay. So let me stop sharing my presentation. Anyone wants to ask any question? Then I have some questions. Okay, let me ask. Pankaj, are you there? Pankaj?
Yes, sir.
Could you please show us your video? Okay, speaker view. So I am using speaker view. So are you there, Pankaj? Let me ask you some question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So why only 39 students? Why all left? I don't know. No problem. Okay. Tell us the number of cases. You are from India or Nepal?
Nepal, sir.
Nepal, okay. Could you tell us which sex has more COVID-19 cases in Nepal? Male or female?
Male, sir.
So why? What is the determinants? Now this is for epidemiology. I am asking about epidemiology. Okay. So based on your epidemiological study, you found the frequency of male is more, distribution. So male has more COVID-19 cases. What are the determinants or factors in our context? So tell us. Bana.